This is GT500.
And this is Red 6 Whiskey.
And this is the first GT500.org Starcraft 2 cast. We have our players, KiWiKaKi and HuK, both playing Protoss as always. And we don't have a whole lot of action so far.
Nah, and really it's just the beginning of the game. There's never any action. The game is, I don't know if GT mentioned it beforehand, but it's on Metalopolis, a very popular map among all races.
It is definitely a very fun map, and it's interesting the pylon placement here is very identical for both HuK and KiWiKaKi. Looks like HuK a little more concerned about protecting his probes with the placement.
Right off the bat, both players using their chrono boost to the fullest extent.
Always a good idea when you're Protoss. And it looks like HuK is a little bit ahead in worker count. But not by much. And they're both going for quick gateways. Pretty standard Protoss play. HuK getting his gas down just a second before KiWiKaKi.
HuK manages to scout directly over to KiWiKaKi's main, and KiWiKaKi decides to take the long route around and take the scenic route.
Always a good thing to get your opponents based first, of course, but unfortunately when you have 3 positions to scout, you don't always do that. Looks like they just had a pause.
A little bit of fun.
Probably all those
a
lag
little bit of
issues
fun.
at the MLG Dallas there.
Yeah, that was totally it. When I was watching the MLG cast, it was plagued with lag issues left and right, and they just could not keep up with the demand of everybody watching.
HuK doing a little bit of probe harass there.
KiWiKaKi putting down a gas on HuK's second gas. That could prove difficult later on, especially for a Protoss. HuK taking his Zealot and moving right over to get that destroyed.
And it looks like HuK stole a little bit of minerals in his classic style. Maybe putting down a proxy pylon.
And again, it looks like they paused there for a minute.
Looks like HuK is a little faster getting his first stalker out too.
However, KiWiKaKi is faster getting up his second gateway. As well as his third. HuK going with what looks to be a 4-gate, putting 3 gates down at once.
And KiWiKaKi getting his third up, maybe also going for a 4-gate. And searching for proxy pylons, always a good idea. HuK with a very interesting proxy pylon placement.
Note the probe up in the northeast corner of the map, just kind of sitting there. KiWiKaKi might be able to use that for future scouting.
And proxy pylon placement. HuK's Zealot being chased across the map. And an interesting pylon placement at the back of KiWiKaKi's base to warp in units from the high ground. And HuK putting down another proxy pylon outside of KiWiKaKi's natural. And attempting one at the entrance to his base. KiWiKaKi a little slow getting that 4th gateway morphed.
And HuK cancels the pylon up in front of KiWiKaKi's base. HuK with the second gas.
HuK getting a little more scouting information before losing that probe. Always a good idea. Looks like both players are getting ready for either to defend from a push or to do a push. KiWiKaKi doing a little bit of checking for expansions and proxy pylons.
HuK putting a pylon on the back of his base so he can warp in high ground, which is always a good idea.
Looks like KiWiKaKi's ready to do his push and get a proxy pylon up to support it.
HuK warping in a few more zealots.
And my computer lagging out while that warps in.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but HuK's robotics page has been.
And it looks like KiWiKaKi getting his blink research going. Looks like KiWiKaKi may be losing that pylon. Some interesting force field placement from HuK.
Fighting a two-front battle right here. HuK going in with zealots to the front of the base while attacking from the downside.
Looks like HuK won the zealot battle, but does not look like he's going to continue pushing into KiWiKaKi's base.
HuK coming up with an immortal training in the robotics facility, about 3/4 of the way done. And yet another immortal. HuK pushing to get his expansion at his natural.
And attempting to defend from KiWiKaKi and his blink stalkers. It looks like KiWiKaKi may be going blink stalker heavy with only a few zealots as backup. KiWiKaKi putting his robo down now.
HuK with yet another immortal coming out of his robotics facility, also warping in a few stalkers. Those immortals may be proving to be a little bit difficult for KiWiKaKi to handle and may turn the tides of the upcoming battle. KiWiKaKi advancing up, but quickly turning around once he sees the immortals.
You know, I don't think we're on the same time index in this.
What are you at?
13 minutes, 20 seconds.
Oh, I'm at 13:35.
That explains it.
Because you're
Lag
lagging out.
issues. Yeah, it's probably my frame rate. Looks like both players just kind of dancing around now.
Alright, what are you at?
I am at 13:55. Looks like KiWiKaKi catching HuK a bit off guard with his army out of his base.
KiWiKaKi moving up the ramp to go take out some of the buildings up in HuK's main. HuK struggling to get back up the ramp.
Uses his robo.
Yeah.
And KiWiKaKi blinks out to safety.
What are you at?
I am at 1450.
Cool, so we're now on track. Note that
Looks like
KiWiKaKi has not yet taken an expansion, which is kind of odd for a Protoss since it's very hard to one base. However, it looks like he's trying to end this here very shortly with his zealot count.
This is going to be an interesting split battle here. And apparently we did not notice he was researching charge. Does not look like HuK is going to be able to defend against this.
Looks as if HuK might lose his expansion. Actually, it's very probable that he will. Looks like he's trying to get the zealots into a formation, so he'll be able to bottleneck them and perhaps take the lead.
Good play from HuK trying to target fire those zealots down.
HuK getting ready to lose his expansion. And KiWiKaKi putting down his own expansion.
HuK throwing up
And
the
the
GG.
GG.
And thank you for watching. This has been the first GT500.org StarCraft 2 cast.